tremendous looking trophy. At some point, you'll decide to have put the intro music in, and we're just having a conversation.
Well, that was just it there. Welcome to Platinum Explosion, Episode 1, everyone. This is a Pleasure Explosion spin-off podcast, which I'm now deeming the #1 PlayStation podcast in Australia and New Zealand, Tom. And New Zealand. It's okay, we'll include you. If at any point... Fuck off, Tasmania's part of Australia.
Oceania.
Is New Zealand part of Oceania, really?
It is.
Yeah.
No.
Undeniably. Yep.
Oh, okay. So this is the #1 PlayStation Oceania podcast.
Yeah.
Just rolls off the tongue, really.
It does. If we were concerned about the football, Australia isn't even considered an Oceania.
Jack's not even on this fucking podcast, and there's fucking football brought up.
And I'm talking about soccer football because you guys
Why would you
defected
do
to
that?
Asia.
Why would you call that football?
Because most of the world does.
Yeah, but we're not most of the world. We have our own little world down here.
You do.
We have
and
freedom.
You've decided to include yourself in Asia so you have an easier run at getting to the World Cup. Yeah. Anyway, PlayStation.
That's the Australian way.
FIFA.
Easy way out.
This is a PlayStation. This is going to be a PlayStation podcast, but it'll be like the other podcast, and we'll call it a conversational podcast. So shit like that will probably happen. That's fine. It's okay.
We haven't even been introduced.
No, haven't even got to there yet. If you listen to Pleasure Explosion, we've got 4 out of 6 people on this one. We got Nick first. Hello, Nick.
Hi, it's your boy.
And you got your boy Jono.
It's your boy.
And the Kiwi Jono, Tom.
Also your boy.
Well, I was like, I should just call his old Jono next week and just introduce everyone as Jono.
Everyone wants
I'll
to
just
be
be
me
like,
anyway.
I'll just be like, it's Jono himself. It's your boy, and Jono himself. It's your boy. Okay, this show will be a little bit more segmented than our other podcast, Pleasure Explosion. If you listen to that,
I should hope so.
only a little bit, and it's only to make Jono go to sleep easier at night, because he does cry about. He's like kind of like Monk, I suppose. You're like the Monk of podcasts. You're like, I just can't handle this unruly mess.
That's not true.
Shenanigans.
I was in support of Jack's free-flowing conversation last episode. People were saying, I don't have anything to talk about. And I backed him up and he delivered. So
This is true, I suppose. This is true. Right, well, I want to jump into the big game that was last week first, which was Mass Effect Andromeda was the big release of last week. I'm going to play it eventually. I'm skipping it because I just couldn't be bothered putting in the time because I got Persona coming out. Persona's coming out soon, guys. But we'll talk about that eventually. So the only person here who's played it right is Nick.
Mm-hmm. I bought it today,
Was I?
but that's it.
Jono brought it today. Nick, you're the only person that's played Mass Effect. You've streamed it twice on the Twitch channel, which you can. What is that? Twitch.tv/Pleasure Explosion.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Fucking spot on, Bevan. I got it.
Me and my birds. One of which was named after a Mass Effect character.
So, is it fair to say you're a big Mass Effect fan then?
I would say at a time I was. Now not so much.
Is it because of Andromeda you're not so much?
No, I wouldn't say that. Like, Andromeda, obviously everyone's heard the controversy around it and whatnot. And
it hasn't been getting the greatest reviews, no.
No, not only that, like, all the controversy around the staff hirings and SJW bullshit and all that kind of crap. But, ignoring all that, the game isn't as polished as the original trilogy. And
it's basically a new team that worked on it.
Exactly.
It's a completely new studio, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. Might as well be.
And if anyone has played Dragon Age Inquisition, it takes a lot of inspiration from that, in a way. Did any of you play it?
I did.
No.
I own it,
finished
but
it.
haven't played it yet.
Yeah. It's all right. I played it, and then The Witcher came out, and I was like, I'm never going back to Dragon Age.
Well, you know how in Dragon Age Inquisition you had all the different sections of the map, and it was pretty much just giant MMO areas.
Yeah. So they're the
It's-
planets in Mass Effect.
Yeah,
I take it.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have a solid drive pushing it forward. You know how like the other Mass Effects were like, go here, do this, the galaxy's in danger, such and such.
The areas in the original Mass Effects, the areas weren't very big, but it's not like they were linear levels. Like you
No.
go to a place, yeah, it's not like they were corridor
No.
shooter levels.
No, exactly. It's just
Some of them were,
yeah.
Some of them were, yeah.
It's hard to put.
So-
No, go ahead.
I didn't even know what the story was. I was listening to podcast Beyond the other day, and from this week, and they explained how the setup, like the story is for where it takes place in the Mass Effect universe. And I was like, actually, I'm more interested now that I know this. Does anyone know? Because it's like
I skipped that section deliberately.
Okay, I won't say what it is because they started saying it, and I was like, oh, you find out this within the first hour, and I was like, well, I'm not playing it for like another. I'm not playing it for months, so fuck it. I'll listen to it.
I don't think it ruins the game.
I don't think it ruins anything, but I mean, it wasn't in the marketing, so technically, it is a quote unquote spoiler, I suppose,
Yeah.
because they didn't mark it where it fit in or anything. But it did make me more interested in it. At the same time, it made me go, that seems a lot very convoluted. Like it's just going to make the whole Mass Effect universe harder to keep up. Like the story, especially if they try and tie it back in eventually. Like if they're doing another
Yeah.
trilogy, and then at the end of this trilogy, it'll tie it back into the original one somehow. It's just going to be very. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't
Really?
know. I don't know how it plays into the game, but in the character creator, you can choose the sex of Shepard from the original trilogy. So I
Really?
don't know. Yeah,
It's.
I don't know if it's got to do with story beats or something like that, or
Yeah, but you could simply find like it's. I mean, it wouldn't be too big of a call to say at some stage in the game there's like a hologram of him or. Like,
yeah.
you know,
That's
like
what I'm
the-
thinking. Something like
He's
that.
part of history, like
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's right.
The,
Is it
the
good?
combat. I'm enjoying my time with it. It's certainly not a masterpiece. It doesn't. From I'd say about 12 to 15 hours of the game I've put in so far, it doesn't hold a candle to the originals, but I'm still enjoying my time with it. There's minor gripes that I've got with the combat. The camera's too tight, and the cover system, you either love it or you hate it, and I'm certainly one that's not a huge fan of it.
would it be good for someone's first Mass Effect? Because they
Yeah,
didn't put a number on it. And
No,
yeah.
you don't need to know anything about Mass Effect, really.
I suppose it's got that going for it. At
Yeah.
least.
People
But-
are talking about it like it's the Phantom Menace, like it's destroyed.
I don't know
The
why
original
everyone
No.
says that.
Which is
That's-
seems to be a bit dramatic.
You know what the Phantom Menace did? They didn't destroy the original
Yeah,
trilogy.
it existing
So-
does not ruin what existed
Let's
before.
not get it.
Pod racing. Pod racing is what the
I
Phantom
know,
Menace
but
did.
I just don't buy into this argument. Even if Andromeda was like, if Andromeda was a 1 out of 10 game, I would be like, okay, so I just won't play it.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Yeah.
my memories of the original trilogy, which are actually, having said that, I never played the first game, so my memories of the first 2 out of 3, the last 2 games of the original trilogy wouldn't be tampered with. I just
The
don't
first
understand.
game was my favourite.
Okay.
Really, Jesus.
Yeah.
And the bigger question, Nick,
Yes.
what are the trophies like?
I would not have a clue because I'm
Yeah,
not a
asking the
trophy
wrong guy.
person.
Yeah, well, you're the one playing it. How many pops you been popping?
I think I've popped about 3 so far.
This is bullshit. This game can burn in a fucking hole. Fuck this shit. I need to look at the list.
One every 4 hours.
That's just
But
disgusting.
I'm going to preface in saying a lot of that time has been spent in the menus, reading every codex entry when it unlocks, and walking around
you
the
do that.
station talking to people.
You're one of these nerds.
Yeah, I'm one of those nerds.
There is a book out as well. They put out a book that tied into it. I saw the
Yeah,
other day
I
as
didn't
well.
read it.
Gave away the
think-
release date, didn't it?
That's right, yeah. I
Did
remember
it?
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the release date was unannounced for quite some time. And then Dark
they announced
Horse,
the book.
Dark Horse announced the book releasing alongside the game on March 24th or whatever it was.
Good job, Dark Horse.
For this game, I'm basically, I've tempered my expectations, so I think I will really enjoy it. I'm basically expecting it to be kind of between Mafia 3 and Mass Effect 3.
I liked Mafia.
Yeah.
I know, but I was very disappointed with it. And it was fine, it was just repetitive, so I'm kind of, halfway between Mass Effect 3 and Mafia 3. I'll be happy enough with that.
I can definitely see repetitive elements coming up.
I'll tell you what, though, from what I've seen so far, Mafia 3, better character animations.
Yeah, better.
Yeah. I want to make the comment. I want to make a comment on that. They're not horrific, but they're certainly not great either.
Okay, that didn't really help.
I spend a lot of time reading subtitles when I'm playing a game, so half the time I don't even notice the facial animation.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, playing through Horizon, the characters themselves looked absolutely fucking stunning.
A lot of the times they did, yeah.
I was reading the subtitles, and when I looked away from the subtitles and towards the screen, the mouth is going at a completely different rate to the words coming out anyway.
Yeah,
so
it wasn't great.
I don't know how bad or quite to what effect all of these facial animations are that people are talking about, but I don't think it's something unique to Mass Effect that we haven't got out of the uncanny valley yet.
Yeah. Every Bethesda game has that issue. Like Fallout 4 looks great usually, then you get a close-up of a character talking and it's not pretty, but it doesn't take away from whatever effort, or however you rate the story, it doesn't take it away from me anyway.
I think the thing it's got going against it is now The Witcher is released and that's the bar everything's compared to.
Which
right.
I'm playing again at the moment, and this game's several years old at this point. 2 years old, which in games 2 years is like...
That's a cave painting.
It kind of is at the way like technology grows these days.
Yeah,
and I'm still like, this game looks great. Character animations are great. The worst thing about it is I played it straight after Horizon. I was like, Horizon, like the combat's way more faster and fluid. And as soon as I started playing The Witcher, I was like, oh, this is a bit janky. But other than that, it's still great.
Yeah, and the facial models are really great in that as well. Like every character feels like they could have been based on a person.
I have bought the Witcher Game of the Year edition to have another run at the Platinum at some point.
Good man.
And that point
You haven't
might
got
be
it?
getting. No,
he's got it.
I have it.
You
I
can
have it on
stack
the
it.
base game, on the original, but the Game of the Year edition released with a new trophy list.
What?
Well, the same trophy list, but you can earn all the trophies again. So I bought the Game of the Year edition. Just hey, CD Projekt Red, have my money, and I will
Do it again.
I'll do it again because fantastic game.
Side note on this stacking trophy thing.
We're already on a side note talking about The Witcher, so
No, we was talking about character animations. Really, we hadn't got too far off. I was looking on. I don't know if I saw it on Reddit or somewhere, but someone had played through. They've gotten all the platinum trophies in every Borderlands game you could in any possible way. So they had like 3 different copies of every Borderlands game. Like they must have brought different regions or something.
Yeah.
And they've got the platinum in every single one. So they've got like 12 platinums for all these fucking Borderlands games.
That's
and I'm
impressive.
like, you are fucking crazy. But I'll tell you what, number one Borderlands fan, I guess. But I was still like, god damn, it's not like the Borderlands 1, 2, sure, the Telltale, whatever. But the actual games, what, like 80 hours each to platinum or something, probably?
I remember looking at the lists, and I'm fairly certain each of them need you to do a decent bit of time with each of the 4 or 5 character types. Like, it's no pissing around.
No.
In saying that, could you transfer your save from each version of the game?
No.
No,
I can't with The
that doesn't
Witcher
work.
either.
I found
The
that
Witcher
out the hard
save
way.
doesn't, yeah.
There are 8 Borderlands games to get the platinum trophy on.
There you go.
So you've got Borderlands, Borderlands Game of the Year edition, Borderlands 2 on PS4, Borderlands 2 on 3 and Vita, pre-sequel on 3, pre-sequel on 4, and then 2 versions of Telltale.
Tom the fact checker. I like
Committed.
Oh man, I'm going to sit here with PSN profiles and Metacritic open the whole time and just have interesting things to say.
Someone's got to do it.
We need
I
someone
like
that,
it.
yeah.
We need someone sitting there doing these things.
The one that I do want to bring up about Mass Effect, looking at Andromeda on Metacritic, it's got a 74 and a user score of 4.6. And somebody, Dunny2K16, shout outs to this guy, who has given Mass Effect a 10 out of 10. And in his description, we get down, the game is truly mesmerizing and outstanding, played 10 plus hours and have had 0 animation glitches, 9.5 out of 10 from me, truly a masterpiece.
Great.
When
Gives that guy a job.
He's already given it a 10, but he's also giving it a 9.5, and 121 out of 546 people have found that useful. So he's really getting the recognition that he deserves.
If ever there was a story for why you don't look at user reviews,
Dunny 2K16.
2K16. Right.
Sorry, Tom, what was the Metacritic score for it?
The Metacritic is 74.
I reckon that's about right from what I've played.
Yeah, so that's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
So it's good. Okay to good. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Yeah,
It's
so
not
it's
bad.
between 90 and 60. All of the scores seem to be, so.
I look forward to it. I might start it up tonight.
Nice.
Well, cool. Anyway, I'll jump onto Horizon now, which is something we've all played and beaten. Horizon Zero Dawn, the latest in the PlayStation exclusive lineup.
Woo!
And no spoilers, Tom, because I know you're gearing up to fucking spit something out I'll have to blurt out at some point here.
That's correct.
Fucking going along with the beer porn in the editing room. I don't want to talk about the game. I don't want to talk about the story of the game particularly. I want to talk about where does Horizon fall in the PlayStation exclusives on PS4 for you personally? In the ranking system, where is it?
In the Pantheon, yes.
In the Pantheon, where does it fit in? Is it a lot of people you see online, people screaming about it? This is the best PS4 exclusive. This has set a new bar. Me personally, it's like somewhere in the middle. Like I wasn't like this is the greatest. I like Horizon.
Yeah. What do you have above it, Dylan? Because
probably nearly most things. I put like the Order under it, and it would probably just be just above the Order. And I'll put probably every other exclusive above it.
Can you refresh my memory, aside from Uncharted and Bloodborne, what are we talking
Infamous.
about? Yeah.
You got Infamous, you got...
I'm trying to find a list.
I'm even counting like shit like Resogun and stuff if you want to.
Have you even... Dude, I looked at your trophies. You played like one level of Resogun.
I played this... I never could beat it.
The second level?
No, I've done more than the second level.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought your trophy list said that you hadn't gotten very far into it. Not to call you out or anything.
Fine.
You're backing down very quickly.
I'm deleting my Twitter.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I haven't played it for like a year.
Yeah.
Or 2 years.
Anyway.
I have no fucking idea how far I got.
I
can tell you I never finished it.
Okay.
I've got a list here.
All right, go through the list.
This is retail releases. We got Bloodborne.
All right, we'll do that. We'll go by Ratchet and Clank, way above it.
Haven't played it yet.
Are we doing just Sony exclusives or console exclusives?
Yeah, we're just talking out of PlayStation's exclusive games.
We got Bloodborne, Drive Club, God of War 3, Gravity Rush Remastered, Gravity Rush 2, Horizon, Infamous Second Son, Killzone Shadowfall, Knack, number 1, Last Guardian, Last of Us Remastered, Neo, The Order 1886, Ratchet & Clank, Tearaway, Uncharted The Collection, Uncharted 4, Until Dawn, and no, that's it.
Yeah, okay, so I've got it just under Uncharted 4. I haven't played Bloodborne enough to give that a true rating, but I just knew it wasn't for me. I understand that some people that's like their favourite game ever, so...
I love Bloodborne.
Yeah. But, yeah, I
Bloodborne's
can't...
amazing.
I'm very surprised that you would put it so low, Dylan, especially Like I enjoyed.
Well, I'm obviously gonna put it above Knack. Like, if we're gonna talk, like, there's things you just kind of expect. Like,
yeah,
so
that's a given.
Put it above Knack. I put it above Drive Club, even though I kind of liked Drive Club, what I played of it.
But
put it
Second
above,
Son?
and put it just above The Order, and then I'd probably go Horizon, and I'll put Second Son above it. I love Second Son.
Yeah, I liked it too, but Horizon's a great game. Like, what were your problems with Horizon?
I found the story to move kind of slow in places, and I kind of was skipping dialogue because I was just like, blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah blah.
I
Get
hear
to the
that.
fucking point.
Can
blah,
I be
blah, blah.
devil's advocate for a second? Do you think the story moves slow because of the way you played it, trying to get the...
Yeah.
No, because I
Platinum?
left it all to the end, and then I was like playing through the story all in one go,
Oh.
and I was still getting bored. I was just like, yeah, there's a fucking yes, dude, shut up, just get to the. I wasn't interested. I was more interested in what would be classed as the secondary story, I suppose, which was what actually happened, and then whenever you're dealing with the like politics of the world they live in now, and you're
Yeah.
talking to people about this, like you're talking to the king dude. He's not actually king, but you know, like these characters that like
Yeah.
rule their little villages or whatever, and they're like having problems or whatever they're on about. I'm like, I don't fucking.
I'm with you
care.
on that one. I'm with
Like-
you. Like when they said in one of the last missions, this isn't. I don't consider this a spoiler. When they say, kill this guy, I was like, I don't know who that is. I can't remember because I hadn't memorized his name because there hadn't been any interaction with him for several hours of the story.
Yeah.
And there's like, after I'd done it, I was like, that's who they're talking about.
I'd say Horizons creates a really, really cool world. I just didn't find they told the story very well.
Yeah, I think
So-
I don't know if I was that worried about Aloy necessarily and her sort of exploits being the whatever, a seeker or fucking whatever she got made, and finding all these different towns, but her being the conduit and that world being the conduit for telling the story of the collapse of humanity, I thought was fucking spectacular. I absolutely loved it, and probably on that list of PlayStation exclusives, I haven't played very many of them, but I would put it above Uncharted 4.
Ooh,
Oh, really?
I just-
You're going to be this
son.
one.
Above
Uncharted 4.
I enjoyed the story more, as sort of a kind of fun sci-fi kind of post-apocalyptic dystopia story. And I enjoyed the combat a fuck of a load more. It did open world well versus Uncharted sort of wide corridors and impossible to find collectibles.
They're very different games, though.
They are very different games, but I think there was a lot more that I enjoyed in Horizon than there was Uncharted. But I only played Uncharted 1, 2, 3 in the week and a half before Uncharted 4 came out.
Oh, really?
And
So,
then played
yeah,
Uncharted 4.
without spoiling Uncharted's ending, I feel like Uncharted's ending, for me, might have had a bigger impact after years of getting to that moment than you.
You must have bawled your eyes out, Dylan, because
I cried. I've admitted a million times, I'm very easy to fucking... You can hit me with moments like that very easy. I said I cried. I started tearing up at the end of Horizon.
Yeah,
I just said
that's
didn't enjoy the story that
That's why
much.
I'm
And I was still
surprised.
like,
I'm still not sure what you teared up about.
Well, I'm not going to say. It's just there's a part at the end of the game. Like, I liked Aloy's character. I liked her character journey. I liked her from the get-go of the game. A lot of my favourite moments from Horizon were all within those first couple hours. People bullying her just putting up with it. And then eventually something happens and you kind of... when she becomes a seeker or whatever the fuck they call it, and you go off into the bigger part of the game, once you're out of the tutorial part, I suppose, if you want to call it, I was kind of like, I was kind of enjoying the
linear stuff, yeah.
I was kind of just enjoying this other part of these kind of annoying characters that I was like, this game's kind of going to be like a bully in a minute. I'm going to grow up with these bullies in this part, and then I'm going to kick their ass later, and then that just all goes to shit, and it's like, go somewhere else. I'm like, okay, game.
Hey,
For
yeah,
me,
sorry, go on.
sorry, you go ahead. For me, it was For me, I think it's about middle of the PlayStation exclusives. Top for me is probably. I was going to be controversial. I really, really enjoyed the Order 1886.
The top. You can't get. I mean,
there's people that will.
First episode of this. I just want to point out something. First episode of the podcast. We're like, please come subscribe to a brand new PlayStation podcast. Uncharted wasn't that great. Horizon's better, and the Order 1886 is my favourite exclusive.
I didn't say it was my favourite.
And I can't tell you about Mass Effect's trophies because I don't care for trophies.
Yeah. I'm with you, Nick. I like the Order. I like the Order. For
Aloy, I agree with. I prefer the what happened story to the what's happening story. And the gameplay, I had minor gripes, like it was always a pain to try and climb something, to try and find where to climb. And the gameplay itself, it was fine, it was serviceable, and it was fun, but it didn't do anything in my mind to set it apart from other third world action RPGs, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it just felt like another Tomb Raider in a different setting. If that,
I'll give it
the
something.
Combat was unique enough to separate it from other games I've played. Like,
yeah,
that's the first game. Yeah, it's the first game I've played where you really do have all these different options of how to bring down an enemy, and I really felt like it was up to me, and I could either do it in a way that made it really easy, or I could kind of do it. You know, I could be stubborn and try and do it another way that I might prefer. But
3 hardpoint arrows.
Played it.
Yeah.
It was the way I played it. I just took everything down the same way.
Yeah, but that was your choice, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I did that for like the first, I don't know, like 10 hours, I suppose. I hadn't brought any new weapons at all. And there came to a stage eventually like where I got introduced to a new enemy, and I was like, I need to buy something else here because this just isn't cutting it. So I feel like by the end of the game, you're forced to either learn to experiment or like have a really hard time.
Doing the hunting grounds after finishing absolutely everything else was a terrible idea as well, because
it teaches you so much about how to play.
Some of the things it teaches you, like with the bellowbacks, I think it's shock it and it falls down, and then you can like open its stomach and shoot the containers underneath, and you can do that pretty quick, and that's basically death blow to these bellowbacks. No, I didn't do that. I spent the entire time just shooting hardpoint arrows at its back from a distance, and eventually it would explode, and half of its health is gone in about 5 minutes. Fantastic. And that's how it took me 60 hours to get the platinum.
So, where's it fall in on yours then, Tom? Ranking it. You don't need to actually make the list, but
I think it's right up top. I have Ratchet and Clank and intend to play that soon. Now I've got my PS4 Pro and 4K TV.
You waited for that before you played Ratchet and Clank?
I didn't explicitly wait for that, but by the time I had bought Ratchet and Clank, I had heard a whole bunch of things about 4K and it's really beautiful and stuff. And I was like, you know what? I don't feel like playing it right now. I will wait and I will enjoy it when I can. Bloodborne I'm probably going to pick up in the sale that's on at the moment, and maybe play through co-op with a friend.
Yeah.
It's right up there, maybe even the top.
Yeah. I think I'm similar to Tom. I've just got Uncharted above it, and maybe, I mean, Resogun's a hard game to compare because they're so different in what the gameplay is. But
so we're just talking like retail exclusives.
Yeah.
We'll do one click round off. I'm going to say it's somewhere in the middle for me. It's not at the bottom, it's not at the top, it's in the middle. Where's everyone else? Top, bottom, to clarify. Top, bottom, middle.
Top under Uncharted 4.
Tippity
Nick?
top.
Well, Tom?
Middle of the road.
And Nick? Middle. So we got 2 middles, 2 tops. That's fair.
Hey, Jono, you did just mention Resogun, and I want to update everybody that Dylan did complete the first level. He has Axis complete. Along with 84.2% of everyone else on PSN profiles, and then he's done
Yes,
sweet
Tom,
fuck
thank
all
you very
else.
much. Thank you, guys.
Yes, I
Thank
knew
you.
I caught you out. Liar.
Delete. You didn't caught me out. I said it could be true. I couldn't remember.
You were like,
I'd
"Oh,
probably-
Resogun. Resogun's a great game." It's like I played it for
Resogun's a
10
great
minutes.
game. Don't. I played it for long. No. I played it for hours. I'm just terrible at it. There's a difference.
I'd like
really-
to imagine you spending an entire evening.
This reminds me of
beating
something.
that to one
You
level.
know, what the fuck is that game on PSVR? The square like Tetris one, Tom.
Super Hypercube.
Super Hypercube. So I sit down the other day to play Super Hypercube, talking about games I'm bad at that I've played for a lot of time. I sit down and play an hour of Super Hypercube also the other day, and I've played that game I've put probably nearly 10 hours into that game at this point, I feel like. And I still can't get past the second level. And I look at my friend... I look at my friend list, and there you are with like whatever level completed and such score. I'm like, fuck, I'm bad at this game.
There was a
I just
point
keep
I
playing
was
it.
20 something in the world or something with my
Yeah,
Super
I was like,
Hypercube
get fucked.
score. Yeah.
So, Super Hypercube, Resogun, add those to the list of games that Dylan is terrible at, yet he just plays, and I'm like, I really like these games, I enjoy them a lot, but fuck, I'm bad at them.
Yeah.
So, and add to that list every single Mortal Kombat ever, where I'm like, really enjoy playing this, I'm fucking terrible at them though. Like,
I just assumed you were good at all games with all those platinum trophies, and the fact that you claim to have died like 3 times in Horizon.
oh no, by the time I finished, I probably died 10.
Yeah, see, I probably died 10 at
But
one
I
section.
took like 7 off for falling off cliffs.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That doesn't count.
I'll stand by those. I didn't die that much from actual combat.
Kudos.
Yeah,
You got
So,
skills, man.
yeah,
I wonder
Except
if
for
we
Resogun.
might...
yeah. No, Resogun. I'm fucking
My
terrible.
wife's beaten the first level of Resogun, so... She
Your
doesn't-
wife's better. She's way better at Resogun than me. She can have it. I'm not ashamed to say when I'm bad at a game.
It
I'm
just
with you,
surprises
Dylan.
me because this is not hard.
I sucked at
Some
it.
things you just.
It just didn't click
yeah.
for me.
Yeah, it just doesn't click. Like sometimes you just play a game, your mind just doesn't.
Yeah. Guess
Click, I
we're all
suppose.
different. We're all
and
special.
there's some games like maybe like if you're going to use Horizon as an example, you had like a really hard time with that game at one stage, like saying how you was dying over and over at this one part.
It was the rock.
And in my
the rock.
yeah,
dude.
and in my mind, I'm like, that was one of the times I died, and it was like, I'm like, it wasn't that hard though. But he was acting like it was a blood.
I had the wrong. I didn't have the right bow for that. I didn't have the tear blast arrows, which made it very difficult.
That's
His
another
shoes
thing
weren't
that
tied up.
annoyed me.
Yeah.
Why have 4 different type of bows instead of just one bow and all the different arrow types?
I don't know. There's-
I think
Anyway.
it's all about inventory management kind of thing, and or like equipped weapon management, just
Yeah.
a little piece of
But
the game.
It didn't hamper you
didn't
anyway,
make-
because if you wanted
yeah.
to change, you just go into the menu and change it anyway.
Yeah, they just made it more cumbersome, which was just annoying to me. That was one thing I didn't like, that you couldn't have all your weapons accessible at any point, because
Yeah.
it didn't make it more realistic, because every time you selected a weapon, it would just
no, because you have them all on you somehow.
yeah, it would just
Yeah.
appear on her back out of nowhere,
yeah.
which I don't like. That's a tiny little video game thing.
That's
happens.
RPG. That's RPG stuff
Yeah,
though.
but
Yeah.
I liked that in The
It didn't
Last of
need
Us,
to be.
he actually
Hey,
does have all of his weapons hanging off him, which is a cool little.
Gorilla, we know you're listening. In the next game, either make all of the arrow types available to one bow, or perhaps make it slightly more difficult in that we can't just change weapons in the middle of a battle, and you really have to prepare going in.
I was about to say it would have made sense if when you go to a campfire and save, you just pick your weapons to bring with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it
I would've been fine
also
with
makes
that.
sense if you save that your health gets replenished. That would be useful. In the
that would be
future.
nice.
Yeah.
She's going to sleep and everything. She's clearly getting healed. Should
I
we?
think they'll take all that on board.
Yeah.
They will. I know
Gorilla's
they're listening.
listening.
They're
So
listening.
yeah, exactly. They listen.
All
All right, I want to jump on to the next thing.
I was going to
which
say
is
Horizon landed with 89 on Metacritic, just to
your
close it
fucking
out. Like,
fucking
hey,
Metacritic scoring
I'm
check.
providing useful information and
I
user
appreciate it,
user
Tom.
score of 8.7, and I do want to share this review with you, and I will turn it
Oh
into
my
a small game. Can you please guess what this user Ray Antrax gave Horizon?
One.
Six.
A fucking
4.
boring, tedious game and open world fake. If you make an open world Please don't fill it with pointless quests or collectibles. Overhyped game who turned out to be rather bland and repetitive, with a nasty agenda, awful graphics, and poor gameplay. The game isn't quite worth playing.
Oh my! Every open world game has collectibles.
I don't feel like he played that game at all, and that was okay. That's like that's someone with a agenda.
That's a troll.
Like that's yeah.
It is, and 4 out of 25 users found his 0 out of 10 helpful.
I want to say something too. I think it was pretty cool how they tied it to one of their other franchises.
Ooh, that sounds like an Easter egg I didn't see.
Yeah,
It
and
is
or
an Easter
spoiler
egg.
territory.
Both, I suppose, technically.
Are we still doing a spoiler cast?
Yeah, we'll do one eventually. Shout out to Spoiler Cast coming soon.
Yeah.
Yay!
All right,
I look forward to
Moving
hearing
on to the next
what that
topic, we're
is.
going to talk
Yeah.
about Outlast 2,
No.
which had a ridiculous
Oh, yeah.
news cycle here in Australia the last week. It
really
had
did.
many ups and downs. I don't know if everyone was following it. I don't know if Tom was following it closely or not.
I was.
So, first news story comes out, and they're basically like... It's just one of those news stories. They're like...
Banned.
Outlast 2 has been banned from Australia. Well, it's been refused classification, however you want to word it. And everyone's kind of just like, well, this sucks. And blah, blah, blah. Then we get, a couple days go by, we get a second news story from Kotaku, who was like, yeah, by the way, guys, it's not banned anymore. It's coming out fully. No changes or anything. And then like another day goes past... And then we get the third news story, which I have in front of me and I want to quickly read over, which opens with, this is from Kotaku, shout out to Alex Walker who wrote this. Despite earlier reports, the classification board has confirmed that a modified version of Outlast 2 was submitted for review rather than the original version of the game. In a statement released this afternoon, the classification board confirmed that Red Barrel submitted a modified version of Outlast 2 to the board after the original was refused classification. Blah, 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 was refused classification for a demonic scene. In a statement to Press Start, Red Barrel said there will only be one version of Outlast 2 available worldwide, which is the interesting part to me, particularly because... They say there's only going to ever be one version of this game available worldwide, but the classification board has said that they changed the scene in the game, which leads everyone to believe now that they've changed this version, the scene for the game worldwide now.
Because of us.
Because of us. So if the game comes out in America and the scene is now missing... Everyone's going to be screaming at Australia for censoring the whole world. Like, what is going on here? So I have two points off this. What do we all think of the Australian classification system? Still, after years, that we finally got our R18 plus system put into place. However many years ago it was now, and still to this day, it appears to be doing. Sweet fuck all. Like, it seems kind of pointless at times where it's like, we go for all this effort. They're like, we're going to give you the option to have an R18 plus on a game. And then something like Outlast 2 comes through the gates and they go, yeah, nah, still banned. And everyone's screaming, what's the fucking point of this rating then? Like, why do we have it? What wasn't the point of putting the rating system in to allow these games to be rated adults only? I don't understand why it's still happening. I don't understand.
Yeah, it is perplexing. It is like it seems to be a separate system of rules for games compared to movies, and,
which have no problems usually at all.
I mean,
To me,
yeah,
it seems like the classification board doesn't trust adults to be responsible for themselves. To go into the
I wonder.
When it
do
comes to
the
games.
research. Yeah, when it comes to games, like I think they're still thinking, oh, these are going to get in the hands of kids and whatnot.
well, that's probably
When-
true.
Yeah, but for the naive parents out there, it's R18 for a reason. Like, there's no
Yeah,
like, oh, I wonder if this is R18, but it's still okay for my 12-year-old.
yeah, but
It's clear.
those parents are dumb. Like,
Exactly.
they're
Yeah.
they're the parents that take their kids to
Have you
death
ever
or-
been in EB games or somewhere like that when you're like lining up to pay for something and there's that mum in front of you with like the 8-year-old kid and the dude will be like trying to buy them like the latest Call of Duty. Like one of them was rated R at one point. They're one of the codes, I think. or some other first-person shooter. It could have been like Wolfenstein or something. I was
Doom.
watching one time.
Wolfenstein.
Doom. I think it was Wolfenstein actually. This example, and then the person at the council's like, "Oh, just so you know, this game's like rated R," and the mum's like texting on the phone like, "Blip, blip, 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 blip. Yeah, nah, he'll be fine. He'll love it." And he's like, just letting you know because I'm like obligated to tell you like it's pretty violent and stuff. And she's just like, it's just a game. Just let him, like literally her words like, it's just a game. Kind of waves it off as if it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yet the moment he's like, if he was to start swearing or like has a fucking nightmare, it would be like, oh, video games are ruining the world. Blah blah blah. So you fucking brought it for
bad
it, lady.
parenting.
Or
Yeah,
he
it's
grows
bad
up to be
parenting.
alt-right Dylan.
I mean, there was kids in the theater when I went to Logan, and I kept turning around expecting them to be walking out, but no, they stayed for the whole thing. And
Yeah, well.
yeah.
There's a bit of
I
blood
mean,
in
it's
that.
not. I don't mind. Like people can. It's like you can do with your kids what you want, but if all of a sudden
It doesn't go
you
both
can't
ways,
do
yeah.
you can't do that turnaround. Like once you let the kid watch a movie or you let the kid play the game, you can't just turn around and blame the medium afterwards for the way your child's acting or their behavior.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean,
Do we
there are
know
things in-
who the
yeah.
board are that rate these things? Do we know like how it's made up and? Yeah, but we
There's
don't
a
know.
federal
if
government.
It's like 5 people or 10 people, and
No, there's a whole group of them.
do they play the game? Do they just see the cliff notes of the game?
No. Yeah, they get shown scenes.
yeah.
It's old fuddy-duddies.
Yeah.
I think the developer would have to be trusted enough to flag some scenes and say, you know, here's our game. It's called South Park: The Stick of Truth, and here's a scene where the character is anally probed by an alien. And then the board goes, well, that's pushing it a bit too far, and they cut it out, or it gets banned. Yeah. I was okay with what they cut out of that game, by the way. I didn't need that in my game. Yeah, that's not on the same level as like performing an abortion. Like that's to me that's pretty offensive. I would get to that point of the game and be like, do I really want to keep playing this? Yeah. I actually found these scenes have been removed from the game. Like, that was funnier to me than what the actual scene would have been anyway.
Can I
Yeah. Yeah, that's
can I
fair.
say something about that?
No.
I played both the restricted and unrestricted version of that, and this one in particular, the scene that was restricted in Australia, where you're on a spaceship and you get anal probed.
Yeah.
That was so fucking hard to pass. It was ridiculous. I had to use a trainer on the PC to get past it.
Oh,
So
man.
exactly, I had to. I'm actually glad it was censored, not because I missed out on it, because I missed out on that infuriating scene to pass gameplay.
Yeah, some of the timing in like even like just the fart training parts were like really, it was so off the instructions you were given compared to what you were meant to do. Yeah, the point stands.
Yeah. It should have an option to say, "Do you want to see this?"
Like if I mean, I would even be okay in a world where that exists, where they're like, look, we really don't like this scene, so instead of banning the game, they're just like, how about
Skip it,
we just add an option to for people to skip it that need to skip it.
Yeah, which they did, like Call of Duty did that with the terrorism scene, right, in the airport in that game.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that's probably a smart thing to do. Because then people complaining about it, you can say, well, you had the option, so... Shut up.
You know what the absolute worst part about this whole thing is? In New Zealand, we don't have our own board, so we are just at the whim of what the Australian board decides. So when you have something,
Is that how it works, really?
yeah, when
I
you
was
guys
about to
have
ask
something
about that.
banned, it also just doesn't get classified for sale in New Zealand, and we miss out on it too.
Sorry, dude.
Wow. Sorry for us and our piss poor fucking classification board. I guess
Yeah.
that. I mean, I see some people take it really far, and I used to get way more up. I mean, I understand what they're trying to do. Like, they're like, oh, the meaning behind it, but it's like, it's just not up. As far as I'm concerned, it's not up for you to decide what I'm allowed to watch and play. Like, that's all that comes down for me. I'm like, I understand what you're trying to do. Like, we don't want kids to get their hands on this or whatever. It's like, it's not drugs. It's a piece of art. And if I deem myself willing to watch or play or read or listen, it's just like, it's not your job to tell me if I can do that or not at all. Like, just fuck off.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Freedom.
I don't know.
I'm looking at Wikipedia at some of the games that have been banned across Australia and New Zealand, and there are some interesting ones on this list that you.
The most interesting one is the Reservoir Dogs game for PS2 that I never got to play. To this
Mark
day,
Echo's
but it
getting up.
Well, what I might try and do, although I should say this after we go to San Francisco, is Reservoir Dogs and Manhunt.
Manhunt
I might try
I
and
own
find
Manhunt.
over in the States and bring back just for a laugh. But
I don't
I
know if
bought
they're
Manhunt
region
before
free,
it was
though.
recalled.
that's a fair point. Oh well, I'm going to investigate anyway.
You'll have to buy an
I'm gonna
American PS2 as
investigate
well.
this.
I can manage that if I need to.
He'll be right.
The Witcher 2 was banned at one point in Australia.
Probably 6.
Was it?
Yeah, sexuality
Well,
and
for a
nudity.
What's sexuality mean? What's that?
That means like
What's that cover?
sexual
Uh,
intercourse.
Yes, sexy scenes and stuff.
What? You fuck on a unicorn in 3?
Yeah, I know.
but we've got R ratings now.
Yeah,
Okay, I
we've come a
suppose,
long
right.
way since 2011.
It's so.
I'm just like
No,
noting
another part I
games
thought-
that I recognize the names of: State of Decay,
There's a few on there.
Saints
Yeah.
Row 4, Hotline Miami 2.
Yeah,
Yes, I want.
and then
I had to buy that.
Devolver Digital was just like, "Hey, Australia, just pirate our game."
Well, I have that on my Vita, so I don't know how I
How?
got it.
I
I don't
bought
know
it
how
on
I
the
got it,
US
and you
account.
don't have it.
How do you have it on Vita? Digital.
Yeah, digital.
Wow. I guess New Zealand got through the keeper.
Yeah.
Somehow.
BMX
Good job, goalie.
XXX. Anyone?
Ooh, I can only imagine.
We,
I remember renting that when I was young. And
I
it had,
remember
What?
seeing it on the shelves in EB and wanting it so bad, aged 12.
it just had black
I'm sure you
letter
did.
blocks.
I've never heard of this fucking game.
Haven't you?
It's exactly
No.
what it sounds like naked
I can
chicks on
imagine
the
what
back
it
of
is, yeah,
BMX
but-
cars.
It's the kind of thing that would make Jono
It was
blush. is what I'm thinking.
topless girls, but in the unedited version, it had their tits hanging out. But in this one, they have, in the Australian version, they have like black letter blocks, black letterbox
Okay.
bars over there.
Okay, but was the game actually good or?
No, it was
Probably
shit.
not.
Definitely not.
Okay, so yeah, okay.
But a
for-
12-year-old boy,
yeah. Any opportunity to look at some boobs.
If I was 12 and he was like, you can play this real shitty game that's terrible, but it has tits, or you can play Kingdom Hearts, I'd be like, I'm just gonna go play the actual good
No, you
game,
wouldn't.
guys.
Wow.
Sorry.
you say that now.
Nerd.
You were a better child than I was, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
Fallout 3 was banned at one point or
Yep.
another.
Yeah, they had to change the drug names. I
used
can't
to be
remember what they
morphine.
changed them from.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like you can't have a game where you're injecting morphine
so,
into your character.
yeah, edited
And it showed the
worldwide
animation.
Due to the change needed, the name of morphine was changed to Med-X.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, I
Med-X
just
was
thought that was
a
a Fallout
name.
thing.
Yeah, it was a Fallout thing anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which that one never actually bothered me because
Yeah.
I was like,
No.
it's not actually like a missing
Yeah.
part of the game. They just changed the name. I was like, it's still stupid that they have to change the fucking name. But I was like, whatever. It's not the
Yeah.
end of
All
the
the
world.
drugs
Yeah.
in that game are, they're just renamed versions of our drugs.
Yeah, it just made it sound more different world kind of time. You'd like, oh, MedX instead of, So, no, never, that one never stopped me.
San Andreas had classification revoked following the hot coffee controversy.
Yep.
Which is a great
one. The game came out and then they pulled it all. I had a copy of the game. I had a copy of the game before they pulled it all, though, which was good. Sucked in classification fucks.
And the very last game I will highlight is only banned in New Zealand, apparently, not on the Australian list, is a game called Rapeplay. And I don't think you need any more context than that.
Sorry?
Rapeplay.
Rapeplay. Rapeplay.
One word.
Rapeplay. I don't think I want to play that one personally.
No, it tends to promote and support the use of violence to compel a person to submit to sexual conduct.
Okay then, right, yo.
And the exploitation of young persons for sexual purposes. So
see, I'm gonna make a. You know how before I was like, you can't tell people what they can and can't play. That's the kind of thing where I'm like, ban it, ban it. Like if a game's actually like legit promoting that stuff, or like a game or something was like legit like racist propaganda, then ban it.
Ban it.
Like that's fine. Like that's a different story, I think, to violence or sexual conduct. That's just a bit different.
It is, but it's all. Yeah, it's a subjective spectrum. I'm sure, not to like call you out or anything, Jono, but there would be things like you say in South Park, even that you don't want to play, you're fine not seeing that, and that us, out of the four of us, would be happy to see and happy to have in the game. So yeah, when you have like an objective line, a subjective line like that, it's a difficult one.
Definitely,
because there will be somebody out there that's like,
I want the rape.
I want Rapeplay. I'm all about this shit.
Lock that cunt up.
Yeah. So Jono draws the line before anal probes. We draw it after anal probes.
I draw it. Yeah, I draw it at about the rape promotion game.
I don't want to call him out as well, but you know who I'm talking about in the Kind of Funny Facebook group, who would be quite fine with the. With the
I have a quick little question. Why do you draw the line at rape, but murdering people with chainsaws in video games is perfectly fine?
Okay, so I'll clarify. If a game has rape in it, I'm fine by it. If a game is, I'm talking about, this game sounds like it's promoting rape as okay. Like that's the objective of the game.
Okay.
Like if the objective of the game is to promote rape, or if the objective of the game was to promote white supremacist propaganda, then I'd be like, that's where my line is. If a game has rape or implies rape, I mean, there's a scene in The Last of Us that implies rape. I'm fine with that. That's fine. Have rape in your game. I've watched many movies where characters get raped, and I'm like horror movies and stuff. Fine, they're not promoting it. It's just part of the story. It's part of the world. I don't have no issue with it.
But you're not.
Make me uncomfortable.
Your character's not engaging in that. Like, you can't, like, let's say Grand Theft Auto 5, you don't have the option of taking one of those characters and raping someone, but you have the option of taking a chainsaw to a school teacher or whatever, which is heinous in real life terms, but in that context, people will say, oh, it's just fun, it's just escapism, I would never do this in real life. So why do you exactly draw the line at the sexual assault? It's just an interesting...
I feel like if you could sexual assault in Grand Theft Auto games, if that was you can kind of, can't you? I mean, I didn't play the last one. I still haven't played 5. Wasn't there a whole cabal about taking hookers in cars and then beating them up afterwards or something?
That's every Grand Theft Auto.
That's just GTA, yeah.
Okay, because I've never actually picked up a hooker in a Grand Theft Auto game. Because I'm like, why?
I'm just curious at the thought process.
I don't know. I think
that's a topic for another
very
day.
simpler one. It's just the way that the world's dehumanized to violence.
Yeah, I guess so.
So it just doesn't really affect people.
Prostitutes in GTA are a waste of your money, Dylan, and that's exactly why you kill them afterwards to get your money back.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'll have to try it next time. Okay, I want to move on to the next thing before we go into a weird topic about another hour talking about what is.
Well, how long have we been going?
We're like 50-something minutes, so this is how we're going to end the show every week.
I'm just gonna say, I'm getting hungry.
Shut up, Jono. We're going to end the thing every week with a segment called Every Trophy Counts, which is where if you want to talk about any games, I know this probably doesn't affect Nick because he gives 0 fucks. He's the one in the group that gives 0 fucks about trophies. But we're going to talk about what we've been playing lately for trophies. I'm going to bring up my tip of the week, which is not Ghostbusters the game. It is Goosebumps the game, based on the classic book series that came out like a year or two ago at the time with that Jack Black movie, whenever the fuck that came out. I haven't watched it. Anyway, very easy platinum. You could probably do it a lot quicker than I did if you follow a guide from the start. And I reckon you could get a platinum in about 2 hours on that one. If you just follow a guide walkthrough straight from the go. 1 out of 10, fucking easy.
What's the gameplay?
It is, if you imagine like an old school PC game where it's like old school adventure game where you like
a point and click.
You walk between screens, yeah, like point and click. So you're literally like picking up objects, talking to characters, using this object on this thing to do this. If I didn't have a guide, it probably would have been really fucking obscure and bullshit. Like I wouldn't have done some of the things that you actually have to do to get trophies and stuff like that.
So it's like Day of the Tentacle, Grim Fandango kind of thing.
Not quite as
nuanced.
Well, no, because you walk around in those. Like this is literally like you hold. So you move between screens. Like you'll hold down up for a couple seconds and you'll move to the next screen. And you'll be like you move through the door, and then all of a sudden in front of you you have like
kind of like an old dungeon crawler.
Old dungeon crawler type adventure games stuff, yeah. And then on the right of the screen at all times is your like inventory with your items and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's one of those. It seems really old. For some reason they decided to make this because I suppose it was a very cheap and easy way to make a tie-in movie release game.
I started playing Lumo yesterday, the PlayStation Plus title from this month.
Yeah,
just to
I looked
see
up the trophies for it. They said 10 out of 10, bullshit, no one will ever platinum it. And I said, cool, delete.
Yeah. I gave it about 10 minutes, and I think it's quite a similar style of game to what Goosebumps sounds like. And I thought to begin with that I was going to enjoy it, but it just didn't really go anywhere. So I got one trophy, and I'm out.
And now you're going to be stuck at 1% forever, and it's
That's
fucked to a
disappointing.
Which I want to give it. Here's another thing. I was looking on everyone's profiles the other day, as I do sometimes. Yeah, who hands up? Who else just randomly opens the PlayStation app sometimes and just starts looking through what people are playing and stuff like that?
I have both of my hands up.
Clearly, I do because I called you out on Resogun. So
yeah, exactly. So people think it's not
weird.
I was looking through Nick's profile the other day, and I noticed he has a lot of 0% trophies on his list, and I know he doesn't care. But my tip for the week for people will be if you want to get your completion percentage down on PSN profiles, go through your list.
Delete.
You can delete those 0% trophy lists, and then you get your percentage to go up because you get rid of those fucking games. They added that feature like a year and a half, 2 years ago, probably at this stage, and it was one of the best days of my life.
I want to say,
fantastic.
I did try for a platinum once.
What game?
Wow. I'm impressed.
Lego Marvel Superheroes.
Oh,
Yeah, they become quite tedious.
No,
That's a
it
tough
wasn't the fact. I would have got it, but the red bricks or something bugged, and I got like 11 bricks out of 10 in one level, and it just stuffed everything up.
11 out of 10?
So I couldn't
That's
get it.
weird.
Yeah. Apparently it was a known bug, but I didn't know about it.
And then from that moment on, he was like,
Trophies.
well,
I do own
trophies
2
forever.
platinums, I think. I would own 3
Telltale?
if it didn't bug. Yeah. It was Game of Thrones, Tales from the Borderlands, and I would have got the Batman one, but for some reason, one of the episodes trophies didn't pop while playing it.
Oh, you're one of...
You're having really bad luck with trophies.
I really don't care.
Yeah, I'm not surprised you don't like them.
I've been playing Hitman over the weekend.
No platinum,
And no
unfortunately.
platinum, lots of trophies, but lots of them require a lot of playing, which I'm just not willing to do.
I feel like a guide could very easily mop up some
How
of
do
those.
they need a
some
lot
of
of
them-
playing?
Well, some of them you might need to get to level 20 on this level. So every level has different ranking.
That's tedious.
And you might have to replay that level 5 or 6 times to get there. And there's different ways you can finish each level by doing certain combinations of actions to get your kills, and you have to do the exact right ones to get certain trophies as well. And
you don't feel like this would just be good, like zone out, follow a guide, podcast, catch up type trophy?
No, because
you need to pay attention.
You have to like really. You can't drop the ball in timing, or it's for people that love the game, basically. That
Not
can't get
worth it without a platinum anyway.
Basically, so I've gotten two trophies for each kind of DLC for each episode, and then there's the base game which I've got 80% on. So it's probably going to be overall 25 to 30% of the trophies, which will do.
That'll do.
Yeah, it'll do. And I'm trying. I'm subconsciously. I'm gonna say this out loud, so it will turn into something. I'm trying to catch Tom because he's about a full level ahead of me.
We've got a competition. Yeah. Yes.
I think I'm level 21, and you're just about to go into level 22. No,
Tom's checking. Tom's checking this now.
I've had my PSN profile open the whole episode, and I am at 89% of level 21.
Right, and I'm
checking yours now.
I'm about to go into level 21, and you're about to go into level 22.
95%.
Oh,
me.
You don't want to be doing this, Jono. You don't want to do it.
We have a competition.
I thought that I was...
Make a bet now, Jono.
Yeah, I'm like a full level behind.
Episode?
You've got way more platinums than me, but I must have played more games or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so...
By what episode do you think you can overlap him, Jono? If he was to make a bet.
I don't know. I probably can't
do
do it. It's just a carrot dangling in front of me. I won't get it.
No. You want to set up a real competition. You have to surpass him by what episode? Put the challenge out there.
Jeez, how many episodes are we expecting to do?
At least a couple.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done way more. We've currently surpassed at what point I thought Pleasure Explosion would go to shit. So there'll be at least 100 of these.
Yeah.
He didn't mean it.
Let's see where I'm at by episode 50 of this podcast.
By episode 50, he'll overtake
So I've given myself roughly... I'm not saying I'll overtake you.
You've given yourself about a year.
I just want to close the gap. Because he's a full
Biff
level
will
in
keep
front
track
of
of this.
Yeah.
Someone keep track. Someone make an app.
It is interesting because I will, of course, continue collecting trophies, and I'm not necessarily going to speed up now that you've said that, but I'm certainly not going to slow down.
I probably should have kept it to myself. That's what I was saying.
You almost definitely should have, but I have got myself into quite a predicament, and this is an ongoing saga as well that we'll have to check in with regularly. Dynasty Warriors Godseekers. There are
here we go
4 people that have the platinum trophy in Dynasty Warriors Godseekers,
so
according to PSN profiles, and
you can get on that list.
I want to be on the list. The issue is, I have been playing for nearly 8 weeks at this point. I have put over 60 hours into this game, and I have 58% of the trophies. And some of them are a fucking grind. Like, I am anticipating not getting the platinum. I'm anticipating not getting the platinum until potentially 150 or 200 hours, because... one of the trophies, which will be definitely the last one to get, is to max out every character's sort of skill board. And there's 50 points on these boards to collect, and I don't even know how you fucking collect skill points to add them in, because you can just generate skill points without even leveling, and Christ, it's gonna be a whole rigmarole. But
can I make a prediction?
That I'm going to get it and I'm going to rub it in your face?
You're going to get the Godseekers Platinum before I do.
Spot
I
on.
think that's a guarantee.
I'm going to wrap up in a sec, but I want to give 2 shout-outs to 2 interesting games which I saw had platinums today real quick. I don't want to go over the list because we don't have time, but Parappa the Rapper has a platinum, which I found really quite interesting.
I saw that.
And I'm like, I'll go for that. And the other one was I saw Harvest Moon Remastered is coming out, which also has a platinum. And I was like, when the fuck did they announce this game? And the trophy list looks pretty fucking easy for a platinum as well. So shout out to those 2 games, which I never thought would have had fucking platinums, and Gone Home doesn't. And so we're going to go for this.
Can I give a couple shout outs too?
You can give a couple shout outs, Tom. We're in the shout out sign off section, so you can shout out and then tell the people where they can find you.
You have already stolen one of mine. I was going to mention the Parappa the Rapper's trophies being up. Drawn to Death is our PS Plus game next month.
There is a platinum. We'll start talking about those.
There is a platinum trophy for that. We should be excited about. Snake Pass has got a platinum, which looks kind of fun. I've got that pre-ordered. And Salt and Sanctuary is coming out on Vita tomorrow. It's coming out tomorrow. It is cross-buy for everybody who bought it on PS4 a year ago, which I am not one of those people, but I'm being informative. There is a separate trophy list. So if you've bought Salt and Sanctuary on PS4, played it, platinumed it, loved it,
it's sound shape.
You get it for free on Salt and Sanctuary, and you get another free run towards a platinum trophy. I don't know if it'll be cross-save like Sound Shapes.
Cross-sync? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sound Shapes was the cross-sync, the rare cross-sync. Yeah.
Which is the best fucking thing ever.
You might even get that for free. It's extremely unlikely you will, but there is there's another run at a platinum trophy, so I might
think it'll be more like Resogun, where there's just a separate list that you have to earn twice.
Quite probably, which I in fact have almost. I just am missing the platinum trophy on PS3. How are your Resogun trophies, John?
Fuck off, Tom. Where can people find you?
They
Tom?
can find me at TomDaBomb89, TomDaBomb89, practically everywhere, and my Instagram is mine again now. So
very good.
PSN.
Claimed it back.
Jono.
You can find me at Jono himself, and I want to give a shout out to Disc Jam, even though it doesn't have a platinum trophy. It's a great PS Plus game, and it's got some really easy trophies, so get into it.
I was going to bring Disc Jam up, but we just ran out of time.
We did,
so.
and I'm hungry.
Yeah, so I just want you to know that I was at least moderating this episode.
He was thinking about you.
I appreciate it.
Nick, where can people find you?
I want to give a shout out first to Jaden Pryor, the #1 Twitch follower. You can find me on Twitch semi-regularly at twitch.tv/pleasureexplosion. I'm on Twitter at Lord N.Prior, Prior, and my PSN is Aussie_Nick.
And you can find me, all things, at Vivaladil, which is Vivaladil. And I feel like I have to keep spelling it out. I want to reach a stage where I don't have to spell this out on any podcast.
Isn't it Vivaladil TV?
My Twitter is, yeah.
Well, then that's what you just said.
I need to change it so I can say that. Yeah. And I just want to, in retrospective, I hope in the future I have managed to change it. And in retrospective, if you listen to this and I say everywhere Viva La Dill, it fucking makes sense.
It is confusing because you spell it differently from your actual name for some reason.
Shut
what was the thinking?
I've wondered about that, and it's still in chat.
There is a story. There is a story. We don't
because of Vivaldi. He wanted that comparison.
It's definitely
you can follow the podcast at Explosion Pod on Twitter, and you can head to pleasureexplosion.com for this podcast and the other podcast. I hope you all enjoyed the first inaugural.
Yeah.
Yes, PlayStation
Maiden
podcast.
It's Platinum
Have a wonderful
Explosion.
time.
By the way, I've been playing Ghost
Trophy.
Recon Wildlands, and it's kind of fun. Bye.